Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. I'm Thomas. Thank you all so much for being here. We are back with another Timelapse Tuesday. If you haven't checked out my time lapses before, make sure to click the link in the description or somewhere and you'll find a playlist for all my time lapses. This is where I do a full day session. We condense this down into about 10-12 minutes. I talk you through the whole process from needles to inks, everything that I do. Today's tattoo is a clock on a forearm. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Some pretty strong techniques used in there, a lot of line work, which I don't tend to do, mainly just doing black and grey realism, but because we've got all the Roman numerals, that's quite testing. Also probably wondering why I have this box here. The guys from Starr Tattoo Supply sent me over a load of stuff, specifically a needle that I wanted to use in this video. We're going to do a quick unboxing, show you what the guys sent over. And if you did see my Instagram, you'll know that I've technically already opened the box. But yeah, we'll have a look inside, see what they sent, and then we'll jump straight into the time lapse. So nothing too over the top exciting with what I've got here, but this was me just restocking some stuff. If you did see the tattoo convention video that I did, probably saw that I caught up with the guys from Starr. They told me about this new needle that they've got. It's supposed to be amazing. One of the guys that I work with here at the studio uses it, says it's incredible. For me, I thought it was gonna just be another needle. So they sent me some over. We're gonna check that out in this tattoo. But first things first, this is the Empire Classic Black, it's the standard black that Empire do. And then I've also got the Empire whitewash set. So these are black and grey inks, but they've got a little bit of white ink in there. So what that helps to do is help soften your black and grey as you're tattooing through the process. From a healed point of view, I don't notice a massive difference with the healed tattoos. However, the process of tattooing for me just feels a lot easier. It means I can get things a lot smoother throughout the day. I'm sure it does make a difference on healing, but for me, I think they're really nice to use, really easy. So make sure to go check out the links in the description for Starr. You can go and check out the range of Empire. Really, really good inks. You definitely won't regret heading over there. So needles that I'm using as well, Starr's Ghost cartridges. These are 7 curved mags and 5 tight liners. From the Ghost carts. Again, really nice carts, really simple, no frills, no bells. Does what it says on the tin, just gets the job done. However, these are the ones I'm really excited about using. These are the One by Ghost Cartridge. These are by a tattoo artist called Miles Langford. If you don't check him out, again, I'll drop links in the description. You go and check out the studio and his work and everything about these carts. These are tight 3-round liner in essence. I've technically now used them. So I used them in this time lapse, you'll see at the start. They do put such a nice line in. I was a little bit sort of apprehensive about these. I thought they were just gonna be like every other tight 3-liner, but the way that they give you the ink onto the skin, the consistency of the ink flow through these cartridges is amazing, and I don't really know why. There's something magical that happens with these that just give you that real nice flow of ink onto the skin. It doesn't pull, give you just enough, means you can drag and pull long lines consistently with a nice crisp line. Definitely recommend grabbing a box, trying them out if you do any tight line work, any fine line tattoos, definitely worth a go. So if you want to know any more about these cartridges, make sure to head over to Starr Tattoo Supplies. They've got all the information on there, and yeah, definitely worth checking out. As well as all that, you get the usual stickers. There's another sticker, and that is everything I got sent over from Starr. So I'll be using all of this in the time lapse today. I'll tell you what I'm using and where. Thanks to Starr, make sure to go and check them out. Again, links in the description. So with all that being said, guys, let's jump into the time lapse, the bit they're actually here for. So make sure you've got your coffee, you're sitting comfortably. Let's dive straight in. So straight away, it's a big forearm piece. Excuse my pink hair for getting right in the way of the shot. It's a new setup that I've got with the GoPro. Turns out it captures a lot of my my pink fringe, but you have no doubt that it's me tattooing, so there we go. So right off the bat, we are using the One cartridge for this bottom bit. So we're doing these little Roman numerals at the bottom. Like I say, I was shocked with how consistent and how solid these lines were. They were crispy, they were clean. It just felt so effortless putting these lines in. Normally, because I don't do a lot of line work, I've got my machine set up, so it's running mainly for shading and keeping everything nice and soft. So for doing line work, For me, I really find lines hard and stressful and trying to get them in, but this needle just made everything just feel really easy. It just went in, really consistent, really punchy. It wasn't making a mess, I wasn't destroying my stencil. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. So we're starting off by just putting these lines in through the Roman numerals. Get the stressful bit out of the way first. I'll be using a combination of the solid black, which is the classic black from Empire. Just tapped into the dark wash. That just loosens it up a little bit, means I can get it off the skin and just keeps that a little bit extra soft, but still punchy and black, because obviously we want the Roman numerals to stay really nice and solid. So I'm working with a combination of the 1, which gives me the tight outlines, and then I'm using the 5, just a regular 5 liner, just to go in and pack out the thicker bit. Once I've done that, which is what I'm doing now, I'm just now using a 15 curve mag, just to sort of block out a little bit of the background, so I can hold in these nice sort of smoky bits. So this will be just a light wash that I'm just running through the skin. I want it to be really subtle when it heals. I don't want it to be really heavy and dark. If we add more to this piece later down the line, then I can go back in and I can darken and add stuff, but I don't want to take up too much space background at this point. I want it to be a nice finished piece, but at the same time, I don't want to just take up loads of the arm, which would pointless background, and it stops me from being able to add extra elements later down the line. So we are still with, still with the curved mag. No, we're not, with the 7 curve mag from Starr now. So I'm just using this just to start getting some of this this Cogwork in. So this is the whitewash set. So you can see how nice and soft and smooth this is all going into the skin. Really nice to work with. It's a real nice consistency. It really gets you that real soft tone, especially dealing with black and grey. And then mixed with the classic black, it gets really punchy and gets those real deep blacks in there as well. So we're just carving all this out. I've not really put any scratch lines or anything like that in. I'm just really using the edge of the mag just to carve out those edges, make sure they're really nice and solid. You can see that I'm still using the curved mag even for these tight edges. So just working on the side, just to make sure I can get those real punchy shadows on the edge of all this Cogwork. So I've switched over to the 5 liner now. This is just getting me the sort of the 3D effect on this one cog that's there. So this just allows me just to get in there a little bit tighter compared to the mag. And then I'll just switch back to the mag just to be able to block out some more of those shadings. So for me, I use my mags and my liners very much the same. I use my sort of like the 5 liner as a very tight mag, and then the 7 mag just allows me to get into those bigger spaces and just stops it from taking so long to pack out those sort of areas. So I really wanted to make sure that I got all of these little tight detailed bits on this side done first, so that as I start working through the piece, it just makes my life a little bit easier, that all the complicated stuff's out of the way and I can focus on getting all the background nice and smooth and all those little finishing touches. Again, my head is getting right in the way, but at least we're moving up through the piece, so I shouldn't be in the way for too much longer. So again, working from dark to light, so I like to get my dark tones in first. That gives us a black point, so then we can work backwards through those tones to make sure we're keeping all the values of the piece nice and solid, nice and consistent. And we're not sort of putting in sort of a mid-tone too dark, and then we can't darken up the dark tones to compensate for that. So my stencil was staying on really well, so I'm able to keep the arm really nice and clean, make sure I can really see all my tones. Sometimes that can be a little bit annoying, especially when you're trying to do these smoky elements. If you're trying to sort of get this nice soft wispy smoke and your stencil's really holding on, it can make it look like you put an outline in. Just put what you need to get in. So go sort of err on the side of caution, get it slightly lighter. Once your stencil's gone, you can always go back and darken stuff up a little bit, which is sort of what I'm doing now a little bit. Just dropping back into bits at the bottom. So as I've been wiping, I'm taking my stencil off. That way I'm not going to put anything too dark in too early, and then obviously you can't take it away. So yeah, go a little bit lighter, and you can always knock that in. Unless your stencil is sort of going off at the right sort of pace and you're losing those lines, and you can just go through it as you do. So this bit took a little bit of time. So this is the big dark sort of shadow on like the 3D element. So the center of the clock sort of drops down. So we really want to emphasize that 3D look to it. And it's got a real harsh shadow. So yeah, we're just packing out this this black. So again, this will be the classic black, and then just tapped into the dark, just to loosen it off a little bit, so it's not super heavy. I still want it to sort of soften into the piece so it all looks cohesive and sort of knits together, and as opposed to having a big solid black sort of like tribal black band compared to a nice soft black and grey. We still want everything sort of to bed together once it heals, so it all makes sense as a finished piece. So now that we've got all the middle bit done, we've got the band done, we're just going back into the Roman numerals. So I'll be back using the 1 with a combination of the 5 round liner. Those two work really well for me with these Roman numerals. The size of it worked really well, so I could use the nice tight 3 to get a real crisp edge, and I could go through with the 5 just to block out those middle sections that were just a little bit too tight for the 7 mag. I think a few of them that sort of disappear and blur off because it's sort of half of the piece is in focus and half of it's not. I think I use my 7 mag just to sort of soften those out. But yeah, as on a whole, most of the Roman numerals were done with the 2 liners. So we're just working through now with a 15 curve mag. These are the Tatsol Envy Gen 2s. Again, really good carts. And that's mainly just because I didn't have anything bigger with the Ghost ones, and I just needed to get a slightly bigger cart out just to smooth out the background. So as we're working through now, we're back with the 5 round liner, just carving out a few more little bits of the cog. So these are the bits that then drop into the dark section at the top. I needed those to be sort of like outlined so that when I go in with my shader in a sec, which is what I'm doing now with the 7 curve mag, it allows me just to get in between all those little like spikes, all the teeth of the cogs, or the teeth of the cog, and just sort of really block that out and get it nice and solid. Again, out of all of it, this black section sort of took me the longest just to make sure it was really saturated, really smooth, and it sort of had that nice sort of overall look to it. So again, 15 curve mag, light wash. This is the the whitewash from Empire. Again, goes in really smooth, allows me to cover a big area quickly and smoothly, which if you ever try to get a light wash into a big area, sometimes it can be really hard to get it smooth depending on people's skin and the mags you're using and everything. It can be a right tedious job, but honestly, with the little bit of white that's inside these inks, it just helps to keep everything really nice and smooth and just gives you that real nice airbrush finish. So I think this is the big final wipe down. No, we're still smoothing stuff out. Yeah, so at the moment I'm being probably a little bit mean in that I keep going over bits just to get stuff smooth, really make sure that everything's really crispy. So we're just doing a few low lights, and then I think I'm going to start doing white. More than likely. I think I've just sprayed a bit of Bactine on, so if you never use Bactine, it really helps your clients out this time. It takes the edge off before you start doing white, stops them feeling so sharp. So yeah, we're just going through with white. White in this piece really made a big difference. It allowed me to really bump up the highlights, giving me that real nice crispy edge. Makes everything look really mechanical and metallic. Not that this was shiny, but it allowed you to sort of separate from the Roman numerals and the softness of the background and the soft smoky stuff, and really give you that crisp sort of highlight on all the edges. So just dropping in a few low lights, and that is us pretty much done. Nice, quick, easy. Yeah, really nice piece. So there you go, guys. That was the clock time-lapse piece on the forearm. If you did catch on Instagram my 24 hours of posting, that was one of the designs from there. So yeah, go and check out my Instagram. So yeah, make sure to head over to my Instagram. That way you can see all my designs that I post on there, on my highlights. You're about to see all of those, plus all the finished photos of this piece. So with all that being said, thanks to Starr for sending me over these supplies that we use on today's tattoo. Make sure to go and check them out, links in the description. And with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching, guys. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace.